Legends of the War here, and today we've got a Rating Your Doomstack video covering a Legion of the Gore Queen, Exalted Hero of Khorne Doomstack. There's not exclusively just this unit, they've also got some Bloodthirsters in here, and it's commanded by a Demon Prince of Khorne, and there's also a Wizard, which cannot possibly be aligned to Khorne. It's just undivided there. So I imagine that the flying units are there to take out enemy flying units. But before we get into the actual battle, I do need to let you guys know that this video here is sponsored by HelloFresh. So what is HelloFresh? Well, basically it's a way to supplement your grocery shopping and provide a bit of variety in your diet. So someone like me really benefits from HelloFresh because I work a lot, especially during the night, which means I'm sleeping during the day, which means I don't really have a lot of time to get to the grocery store. And if I do go to the grocery store, I'm usually trying to rush through it, and I usually just get the basics. You know, it usually ends up with me cooking pasta, which I'm fine with, but it gets a bit old when you have pasta twice a week, whatever. So with my experience with HelloFresh, I'll tell you about each one that we got. First thing we got was the cheesy beef burgers. All of the ingredients were incredibly fresh. They came with the mincemeat, the cheese, the onion, bun, it all came with it. And it was all packaged separately and inside of a recyclable container. The instructions were there, and I'm someone that I don't really know how to cook that well. I can cook basic stuff, but outside of that, I don't know. I need instructions. And it was idiot-proof instructions that we were able to make pretty much an identical burger to what we saw right here. And it was delicious. It was way above anything that I thought I could have made from, the general store. It was honestly something as good as, I could have gotten at a restaurant, because the meat was spiced. It had special spices we put into it, and we made the patties, and it was great. Then the second thing we had the next night was the chicken and creamy red pasta sauce. I think this one here was my wife's favorite. And then last night we had the ginger lemongrass pork bowl, which again was just absolutely delicious. All the ingredients were fresh. Couldn't believe it. It made our week a lot easier. We're not having to go to the grocery store because all the food came to our door. And we ended up with a lot more variety of meals than what we would normally have during our week. So that was really great. So if you're interested in HelloFresh, I've got a code in the description and in the pinned comments. Click on the link and use the code to get up to $140 off if this is something that you're interested in. It's something that I highly recommend, and I've got another 3 meals coming, which I will talk to you guys about at another time. And if you want to know further information about HelloFresh, do feel free to ask me during live streams. I'll be happy to tell you about my experience with HelloFresh, because I'm not going to advertise anything on this channel that I haven't personally tried myself. And I've cooked all 3 of these meals, and an idiot like me who doesn't really know how to cook can manage to essentially identically cook all 3 of these meals, and they were all 3 delicious. Then you can do it too. Alright, with that being said, let's jump in now and fight this battle and see how it goes. So I do appreciate him renaming this dude Gift for Legend, so that was nice of him. So we're going up against about 3 full stacks of Cathay. Just sort of standard troops, mix of everything. Zhao Ming is in one of the reinforcing armies. So the main things that I want the Bloodthirsters to be doing is just taking out the units that the Exalted Heroes can't do. We want to try to rely as much as possible on these guys here as they can. This has no healing in the army unless they've got some potions of healing. The Fire Wizard here, I appreciate this one being here. It's important to have a wizard in your army, even when playing as a Khorne-based Warriors of Chaos. But I'm going to try to just keep that one in reserve, and I'll only bring it in if the battle starts going pear-shaped. Because at the end of the day, the Order Resolve did say we were going to win anyway. So, and he said that these guys here were basically unkillable. Now, if we have a look at them, I'm not sure what equipment they've got on. They've all got this Trophy Heads ability, right? Which, that's not great if you've got to do it 14 times repeatedly, because it's a hex that it's from one unit to another unit. And when you're dealing with huge blobs of units that don't even have great stats to begin with, I just don't think that's important to use. Okay, this guy here's got a Helm of Discord. That is worth doing. Typically speaking, area of effect range hexes are so much better than individual hexes, especially when dealing with mass amounts of units. If you've only got a small-scale army or going up against a single entity, then those kind of hexes can be quite useful. But against like a bunch of chaff, I couldn't be bothered. I think they're all on juggernauts. Yeah, they're all pretty high level, in the 40s. Nice.
Exalted hero of Khorne.
Couldn't they get the extra melee defense one, the stand or die? Which I'll have a look at their skills after the battle. Okay, so you will be control group 1. Your job is to take out the flying units that they can't handle. You can't hide, so you'll fly with them and just assist with it. So yeah, you might as well go in here. You're essentially a melee unit. But I'll use magic if I absolutely have to, but I won't do it until then. Because this was referred to as an exalted hero of Khorne Doomstack. So, damn it, they're gonna do most of the work. Because if they can't handle this, it's not a great Doomstack. It just doesn't make sense to go in here and just kill like 1,000 of them with fire magic. Right, it's not on legendary difficulty. Let me just confirm that it's on very hard battle difficulty. Yeah, cool. That's all that matters then. I'll come in here and take these guys out in a little bit. Just want to get these guys to go and clear some things out first.
Exalted hero of Khorne.
Yeah, single unit hexes, I'm not a huge fan of them. Like, it's a good hex, 30 melee attack and melee defense is good, for sure. But I also just don't think it's that important in this situation here. Okay, good. Now they're tied down, let's go over here and clear out the sky junk. Now, typically with single entities, it's best to keep them together like this. I'm also not going to use the army abilities. So I might take out that Grand Cannon first, because that looks kind of dangerous. So over here, yeah, these guys are doing pretty well. They're getting their kills in. Make sure they stay close together. Only this guy here is taking any serious damage. 140 melee attack on him. Wow. So that'd be practically pointless putting that on there. Because yeah, when you're at that level of melee attack, you would need at least 130 melee defense to even have a chance of defending. And I guarantee none of them have that much melee defense. That's just excessive. 130 melee defense. So yeah, they're pretty much 92% chance of hitting in every single one of their attacks. But we don't have regen on them. Oh yeah, I was got to do this thing. What's their melee defense like? Their melee defense isn't that high, so I guess that would be good to lower the enemy melee attack. The Hellstorm rocket batteries ones, I mean, fire and rocket ones, not a big deal, but let's just take out the one shooting bullets. We've also got Gillian's Soul Knitter. Gillet, whatever. Now, I've somewhat thought that the Exalted Heroes of Nurgle are better than the ones of Khorne because of their ability to heal in an area of effect. And that the Khorne ones specialize in melee attack, but it's pretty easy to get really high melee attack, really high chance to hit, whereas melee defense on heroes is actually kind of more valuable. Just depends on what you're going up against. But yeah, typically speaking, I do feel like the Exalted Hero of Nurgle Doomstack would actually be better.
Yes. Demon Prince. I don't fail. For glory. Demon Prince.
Yeah, no point giving them extra melee attack. That'd just be useless. Yeah, so just so you know, like, if you've got something like 300 melee attack, like, I'm talking about ridiculous levels of melee attack, right? And you're attacking things with 40 melee defense or 60 melee defense, whether you've got 300 melee defense, 300 melee attack, 3000 melee attack, or 1,000,000 melee attack, it actually makes no difference. Once you've got about 70 points, melee attack higher than the enemy's melee defense, any additional points just makes no difference. Because there's a cap on your chance to hit. Okay, here comes Zhao Ming. Let's see if these guys can take him on easily enough. Okay, this is someone definitely worth popping that down on. Because Zhao Ming... What's he doing? He's making silly noises. Zhao Ming would have a really good chance of hitting. So we got the Sword of Khorne ready to go. But don't worry about that just yet. Our flying goon squad are doing a pretty good job. And how is he going there? Oh yeah, he's just dying. Okay, one thing to worry about though when using Exalted Hero of Khorne Doomstack, and this is probably the biggest weakness that they've got, is going up against something with a lot of flame resistance. So Tyrion or Imric would be a pretty bad choice to put this up against. Because yeah, while it would be good to have like 92% chance to hit, it's also not good if, say, 50 to 80% of your weapon strength is blocked just because of fire resistance. And every single Exalted Hero of Khorne will always have flaming attacks. And in many ways, having flaming attacks is detrimental on average. It would be good if there was a way to just turn them off. This guy's here having a bit of trouble. Right, he's done. Did we... I think we got rid of, what's his face? Zhao Ming. Ming the Merciless. We got rid of him. Okay, when these guys drop to about 25% health, I'll pull them out of the fight.
Chaos unleashed!
And this is also what kind of makes dwarf heroes like Thane Doomstacks really good. Because they have ridiculous amounts of melee defense, and they've got sufficient amount of melee attack that they're going to get reasonable... Okay, there he is. Thought he was gone, but he's not quite gone yet. Which gives them just a lot of holding power, and of course the ability to regenerate. Alright, these two here, they've taken too much damage and I can't heal them, so we'll pull them out of the fight. It's just lopsided damage. For some reason the enemy focused on them. God, there's a lot of these ones here. By the way, guys, if you haven't already checked out the link in the description and checked out HelloFresh, highly recommend it. I've been trying out a few of the meals, and they're actually really delicious. And of course, any chance that I can get to not go outside to the grocery store, great. The more I can be antisocial, there's more time I can spend making these videos.
Witness me, godson.
Although I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't send them already pre-cooked. I had to cook it myself. I think I am some kind of peasant? No, I'm just kidding. Just gotta cook yourself. Anyway, focusing on the battle. What are you doing on the ground? These guys here are only taking out targets that they can't handle. Because they're flying. Alright, these two, yeah, just stay out of it, you're done. This one here is going to be coming out soon. Okay, pop this down. So yeah, Flamestorm and stuff would be good in here. So, just another thing to point out is that we are not using this army optimally. I think it's a good move to have the Chaos Sorcerer fire in there. But this is a rating your Doomstack, not a saving disaster battle. We're here to see what this is capable of. And it's doing pretty well. Like, I'm not trying to get them to friendly fire their own units. I'm just trying to take out the units that They can't fight. I think that's the appropriate number as well to get rid of all these guys here. Right, you're taking too much damage. You're out. You're out.
Axfather's demands. Khorne's fury. Out of my
What
way.
you get?
Exalted hero of
So they stay
Khorne.
together.
Keep moving.
And I've said it before, but I'll just explain it again. Why is it that we want to have like a blob of single entities? Why not spread them out to attack individual units? It all comes down to having each other's back. Okay, a single entity's biggest weakness is getting surrounded and ganged up on. So by having your single entities act as a single unit, it just reduces the number of entities that can hit them at any given time. So it makes them last a lot longer. Now the only times that would be detrimental is if that just makes them a bigger target for missile units, which they definitely are a bit of a target, but nothing too spectacular. Nothing that we have to really worry about. Also, creating a blob of your units also helps to create a blob of enemy units, allowing you to cast spells on them. Again, another thing that we're not doing in this battle. Did this guy... got out.
Unstoppable.
Needs babysitting.
Chaos comes.
Yeah, we have no healing in the army. Even just like one Exalted Hero of Nurgle would have been really good, but playing as the Legion of the Gore Queen, you can't do that.
I am ascended.
Because, yeah, the healing from the Nurgle dudes is pretty damn good. Alright, well... it won. Yeah, it was pretty easy. A little bit of damage, but, you know, we can't heal. If you could equip them all with a potion of healing, that would be good. But I appreciate the fact that he was pretty confident that this army didn't need healing. And he's right, it didn't need it. Would benefit from it, but doesn't need it. Look, he probably would have moved on from this campaign. And it's super strong in auto resolve as well. Yeah, they all did really good numbers of kills. But yeah, you just gotta watch out for flame resistance. Even without the Banner of the Eternal Flame. The main benefit to putting that on is just extra weapon strength. Because they've all got flame attacks by default. But it's one of Khorne's biggest weaknesses is mass flame attack. So yeah, if you're ever going up against Khornite factions, if you can buff up your flame resistance, that makes Khorne very angry. Because he can't do anything. All of his units just have flame attacks. Just about all of his units.
To the victor.
Alright, so we'll have a little look at how he's skilled up his Exalted Heroes, and then I'll give it a rating.
Conflict is endless.
And they came back for another try.
The ruinous powers shall consume all.
Yeah, but I think playing as the Legion of the Gore Queen, you can't dedicate any characters to anything other than Khorne. Because it would have been good to dedicate that dude to, the wizard to Tzeentch. Because if you've got an undivided wizard in the army, it actually reduces Khorne authority. But if you've got a Tzeentch wizard, then instead of reducing Khorne authority, it actually reduces Nurgle authority. Which, then if you wanted to have a couple of Nurgle heroes, that works itself out eventually. But yeah, if you're doing this with an undivided character or faction,
You'll die weeping, like the sniveling coward you are.
oh boy, what the hell? Oh, these cursed end turns. I reckon it would be better to be like half and half, Khorne and Nurgle, or even just full Nurgle. Because I've been using some Nurgle heroes in my own campaign with the Bellicle one that I was live streaming, and it was it's still in its early stages, like they're only like rank 10, but it's pretty unkillable. Like it's taking out full stacks of greenskins with wars and just like shrugging off the damage. Because they just can't hit them. Too much melee defense. And they just regenerate constantly. Okay, whatever. Alright, let's have a look at them.
Demon Prince!
So yeah, they've got some equipment, that's good. Alright, let's have a look here. So you went with Chaos Gladiator for 5 melee attack, armor piercing damage, and bonus versus infantry. Okay, I mean that's good. The melee attack is definitely not needed. Armor piercing weapon damage is good, but they're already quite high. I think that the stand or die, having a few of them being able to cycle this would have been really good, because the Mark of Khorne, it lowers melee defense, so having that active constantly would have meant that we would have taken less damage. So I think having a mix of these two would have been better. I'm assuming that they're all Chaos Gladiators, yeah. Okay, so then looking at this, they've gone with spell resistance plus 10% hero's army, 130% spell resistance. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I probably would have gone with the 5% ward save on each of them. I saw that one of them did have the Vengeful Scorcher, and that's fine. So when they get 80 kills, their weapon strength goes up by an additional 20%. So that's not bad. But 5% ward save is usually better for hero stacks. So yeah, the only thing that I would have done differently is maybe gotten about 5 of them to Chaos Commander. Well, the extra armor-piercing weapon strength is good. Their melee attack is already ridiculous. They just don't really need that extra melee attack. And they'll last a lot longer if you pump up their melee defense by 20-odd points. Yeah, especially if you have 5 of them and just cycle them one at a time. So by the time that you've done to the last one, the first one's recharge its ability, that'd be really good. That's what I'm doing with my Nurgle one. Maybe I should load up that save file and just show you what I'm doing with my Nurgle one. So this was the save file that I live streamed. I'll just show you, because I'm doing a counterpart to this. I wasn't trying to, it's just that's what I was working on with an undivided stack. And it's funny enough, it's being commanded by Azazel. But anyway, if I was going to rate that, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. It's good. It is really good. I don't know if I can give it a 10 out of 10. It's maybe I can. I don't know. I just feel like I'm giving too many 10 out of 10s away these days. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. It was good. It was good for sure. But I just give out way too many 10 out of 10s these days. I just think to myself, you know, everything's a fucking 10 out of 10. And that can't be right. If everything's a 10 out of 10, then nothing's a 10 out of 10. So there's got to be some variation. The thing to point out as well, if somebody sends in a Doom stack that's crap, I usually don't even make a video on it. So that's why the vast majority of the Doom stacks that I do are like minimum 8 out of 10. Because if somebody sends something in and that's like a 6 out of 10, I don't even cover it. I just send them back and say that it's shit. Alright, last time I checked, Azazel was over here. Where is he? Yeah, there he is. So this is what I'm working on. It's not finished, but the reason why I put it into Azazel is because he's got a skill melee attack for embedded heroes, right? Which is good to compensate the Nurgle because they don't have as much melee attack. But look, this guy here is rank 25, no equipment on him. The Mark of Nurgle reduces their speed and melee attack, so Azazel compensates that. They've got more hit points than the Khorne ones. They don't have Frenzy, but that's okay. But this one here, they've got Stand or Die, right? So if I go through the skills, you got Chaos Commander here instead of Chaos Gladiator, so that's the same as it is for the Khorne one, right? So that gives them ridiculous amounts of melee defense. That gives them so much holding power. And then Stench Ridden over here to regenerate health. Now, not all of them actually have Stench Ridden. Some of them have Toxic Trooper to lower the armor in the local area, because we don't need 19 of them to have Stench Ridden, although it does provide physical resistance as well, because if I have maybe 6 or 7 of them with Locus of Fecundity, then I can regenerate all of the possible health that I can throughout the battle. And then, of course, with Paths to Glory, there's good stuff in here as well. So I would actually argue that a Nurgle Exalted Hero army would be better than a Khorne one, and would be able to take on a lot more. Yeah. With, you know, given the same amount of equipment and leveling up. Like I said, this one here is just not finished yet. Still working on it all. But yeah, so rating that Khorne one, I'd give it about 9 out of 10. Maybe 9.5. It is very good, and it was well thought out. Super strong. basically unbeatable. It's just that there's so many unbeatable Doom stacks. It really just comes down to the elite of the elite. Is it the absolute top? It's like I said, I feel like a Nurgle one is better than Khorne, just because of the abilities that Nurgle has over Khorne. Regeneration is very important, and so is some melee defense. And at the end of the day, looking at these Nurgle guys here, we're looking at just gigantic melee attack anyway. Like, these ones here are only like about 10 to 20 points lower than the Khorne ones. They're still going to have a really high chance to hit, even if they were going up against dwarfs. But their melee defense and their regeneration gives them much more longevity in a fight. Now, most of the time I also have them on foot, but if I wanted to, it depends on what you're going up against. If you're going up against something with a lot of missile attack, you want to be on foot. If you're going up against a lot of infantry, you want to switch to chariot. If you need to use the Chaos Steed, you can do that. Like if we had to look at the Juggernauts, they were around 71 speed, right? So the Nurgle one, 73 speed on the Chaos Steed. And this one doesn't have unearthly reflexes. I know I've got a couple of them here that have it. Yeah, some of them have it, so they have that extra speed. And that makes a big difference. But yeah, their speed is about comparable to the Khorne ones on a Juggernaut. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think, because this is kind of like I kind of mixed in a different Doomstack as a counterpart here. It's very similar. Let me know in the comments below what you think is better. A Nurgle Exalted Hero Doomstack or a Khorne Exalted Hero Doomstack. I personally am Team Nurgle when it comes to this. Even though I think Khorne is a much stronger race and a much stronger deity, I think the Exalted Hero of Nurgle has just got Khorne beat. And if they were to fight each other, Nurgle would just outlast him. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to check out the link below to check out HelloFresh. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.